Whoa, what's up, everybody? IDNYM. I don't need your motivation. Back at it again for the first segment, man. First episode of D. Morgans. I don't need your motivation. Where I came from, how I started. You dig and all that there, man. Glad you guys are tuning in. I can't wait to share my story with you guys, man. We're gonna dive right into it. Started off, man, guess whenever in 1981. You dig? My daddy, you hear me? Curtis Morgan. He took my mama, from her will, and had sex with her when she didn't want to have sex, and at that point in time I was conceived. Me being conceived, in my mother's mind, she was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with another baby? At this time, this is her third baby. You heard me? Well, nah, I'm sorry. At this time, it's her fourth baby, which is me. But my second for my daddy. And in her mindset, she's like, I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want a baby. Like, what am I gonna do? And my grandma, she was like, nah, you're gonna keep that baby. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? And my mother, being the woman she was, and going through everything she had to go through with my daddy, she was like, nah, I'm not having this baby. You know what I'm saying, man? I tell you, man, my mama went from taking Quaaludes to drinking alcohol. One of them New Orleans remedies, well, one of them down south remedies, she started drinking castor oil, and people was telling her, you'll have a miscarriage, or whatever the case may be. And I sit here and I smile and I laugh at it now because it's so crazy, when I hear my mama telling me this story, and I'm like, there's no way. So as time go on, my mother is trying to do everything to, get rid of this baby, which is me. She had people around her telling her, nah, God is gonna allow this baby to come for a reason. It's the reason why everything you're doing is not working to make you have a miscarriage. God wants this baby here. He has a plan for this baby, and come July 29th, 1982, a king was born, which is me, Donovan Morgan. It's so crazy because, my brother Travis Morgan, man, he came out dark skinned like my daddy, dark skin, good hair, or whatever the case may be. Me, I come out light skinned. You know what I'm saying? I'm high yellow, you feel me? And at this point, my grandmother on my daddy's side, they looking like this is not, my child's baby. Their child meaning my father. This is not his baby. What's going on? His baby is light skinned, blase, blase. And, my mother sitting in the hospital like, are y'all serious? This is Curtis Morgan's child. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is his child. He basically, raped my mother and conceived me. And these people, the Morgans, they going against that. You know what I'm saying? And as a little child, of course, I knew nothing about it. It's coming off from my mother. And I didn't understand, as I'm hearing this story, why these people didn't want to accept me. Why the Morgans didn't want to accept me. Is it because I was light-skinned? Is it because, my mother was acting the way she was acting with my daddy? I don't know. But time went on, man. I started to grow, and me and my brother developed a great relationship. At the age of 3, my father passed away from an aneurysm. My father used to, snort cocaine, not to down my father, used to snort cocaine and do all this other crazy stuff and dip his cigarettes in embalming fluid, a whole lot of crazy stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of them things, man, where you have to really sit back and look and say, what the hell is really going on? But me being 3 years old, man, my father passed away, inside our home, in the bed with my mother. Started foaming from the mouth. My mother tried to wake him up. She's throwing water on him. She's doing CPR. She's trying to do everything she can to revive this man, you know. And at 3 years old, and my brother being 5, we're sitting there looking at this. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know what's really going on because we're lost. We're like, oh my God, what's really happening? You know what I'm saying? But God had other plans for our life, not just for our life, for the whole family's life, you know. And things changed drastically once we laid our father down. You know what I'm saying? We used to go by our grandmother's house, man. You know, my daddy's mother, and we had other cousins as well. But they took to those other grandchildren more than they took to me and my brother. You know, it was times, man, we used to go to our grandmother's house for Christmas or whatever the case may be. Other kids have gifts and things like that. They used to give us like fruits, man. You heard me? Fruits, oranges and apples. You heard me? Or a plate of red beans. You dig? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, why we get this? You heard me? They opening up presents. You dig? Down in the CTC, Lower 9, across the canal. You know about it in North Claiborne in Tennessee. That's where it was at. You heard me? And it was real shocking, you know. And from that point on, man, I kind of developed this hatred, you know, towards my grandmother and that side of the family. It was something that I didn't want to deal with. I didn't want to be a part of, man, because I felt like we were being outcast. You know, for one, because our father was no longer here, and for two, you know, they really felt like I wasn't for my father. But with that being said, you know what I'm saying? Things continue to transpire in our life, man. We moved from downtown Ninth Ward to New Orleans East, Marywood Court, man. You know where it all kind of started at, man. It was one of those things. You know, I'm 7 years old at this point. My brother's 9. We moved on to Marywood Court. We moved to a different life. You know what I'm saying? Things started to change over for us for the better. You know, and we met new friends, man. Things started to change, and we became a better family as a whole. And at the age of 7, I declared that I was gonna make it to the NFL. I was gonna be a multi-millionaire and make it to the NFL. And guess what, man? My mama told me, boy, go sit your ass down. You ain't about to make it to no NFL. That's not what God having planned for you. Go sit down. You're too skinny. You're too weak. You're not gonna make it. 7 years old now. 7. I'm 7 and my mama telling me this. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna do it. Again, we from New Orleans, and of course, back then, you know, to fathom the thought of your child being successful in something you see on TV or the games you may go to is outlandish. It's crazy. Hell no, you're not about to make it to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And in my mindset, that's where IDNYM came from. I started and I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna prove everybody wrong who doubted me. This is at 7 years old, and we're gonna have my mother on too soon so she can contest to this story that I'm giving y'all. I told my mother, I said, you know what? Y'all may not believe in me, but I'm gonna do it. Boy, go sit down. I'm not trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. I got horse knees. That's what they telling me. Boy, you run like Luigi. You heard me? All this here. You dig? But I continue to thrive for greatness, even at the age of 7 years old. And I had this one person, man, who in my life meant everything to me. And his name is Travis Morgan. That was my older brother. You know what I'm saying? We was 2 years apart. And I used to look up to this man, and I used to say to myself, if I can outdo him, there's nobody that can outdo me. And as time went on, man, my brother used to teach me certain things. He used to beat me up. You heard me? He used to dog me in football, basketball, just trashed me. And I thank him for that to this day, because he allowed me to develop a mindset of, I don't care what nobody think of me. If I put my mind to it and I say that I can get it done, I'm going to get it done. And that's what I did. I got it done. The day came when I finally was able to beat my brother in something. And y'all know what happened, man, when that day came. When I beat my brother in a game of football, who I believe was the best athlete I've ever seen in my life, because I loved him that much and I just looked up to him that much. I said to myself, man, I just beat who I thought was the greatest. There's nothing nobody can do or say that'll get me to change my mind and make me not think that I can make it where the hell I want to make it. You know what I'm saying? This man right here, man, Travis Morgan, man, you heard me? He helped me. He helped me. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. You dig? I beat him, man. And it became a obsession to want to dominate everybody I went across. And whatever it was, I don't care if it's Madden, I don't care if it was Tecmo Bowl back then, you heard me? I don't care what it was, man. I wanted to dominate. And there was nobody who was going to be better than I was. So regardless of what, I was going to outwork you, and I had more talent than you. Because I was going against the best in my eyes. You heard me? And it's one of them things, man, where you sit back and you say to yourself, this guy, there's no way. There's no way. But guess what, man? God had other plans for me, man. He had other plans for me. And he wanted me to be special. And I was already special from the way I was conceived and the way how my mama tried to get me out of this world before I even came into this world. But guess what? God said, nah, you're going to stay here, young man. You're going to become a king. You're going to show the world how great I really am, man. And that's where IDNYM started, man. This is just the beginning of the segment, man. First episode. Many more to come. My story is crazy, man. It gets better. Please believe. IDNYM. I don't need your motivation. Watch me work, man. Yeah, man. I love you people, man. I appreciate y'all views. I appreciate y'all subscription. Keep subbing, man. Hit that button, man. Blow your boy up, man. Let my story get out there, because I promise you, God have something in store for all of us. Please believe, man. Love you, man. IDNYM. I don't need your motivation. D Morgan. I'm out of here. Yes, sir.